Alright guys, let's look at the hardware for the Nokia, actually Lumia 800. Let's just review some of the options or some of the controls on the phone. What you find is that there are no controls on one side of the phone. On the top, you have these two areas. So it has a push, so if you push this in and it pops out, this is where you're going to find your USB charging port. So that's where you would plug that in. And then if you slide this out like this is where you would put in your SIM card. This isn't going to be obviously something that you're going to be doing all the time, but you'll definitely need to have access to this for charging and also for moving files. Kind of odd, because then your phone is upside down. I don't know about you, but when I charge my phone in my car, and if I plug it in, having it on the top and having it with this little door here, I'm concerned about long term. Is this going to be something that's going to break off? It doesn't seem like it would last that long, but that's how Nokia designed the phone. Here you have your audio jack, so this is where you put your audio piece in. You have a couple controls here. You have your volume rocker, your power button is in the middle, and this is your dedicated camera button. The one thing about this phone, the Nokia phones, is that even with the phone off, you can actually use it as a camera. So by pressing this button, you can take pictures without unlocking the phone. You do have obviously your camera. It's a Carl Zeiss lens, and then you also have your actual flash there as well. On the bottom, you don't really have much except for one speaker, so it's all the way at the bottom. So that's interesting because on the back, there's nothing on the back, and most phones have the speaker on the back. This one happens to have it on the bottom. You really have no physical buttons, so what you have are these buttons here, which are your standard control buttons for Windows Mobile 7. There's no removable battery, and one thing I will say about the phone as I compare it to some of the other phones that I have, it feels really good. I'll tell you, it feels very sturdy. It feels like it's something that if it were to drop, that it could take a dropping easily. It won't break that easily because it just feels so solid. The other thing that I find that's really interesting about this design is that if we rotate it slowly, you'll notice there are no seams on this casing. None whatsoever, and you see that on some of the other phones. So it's almost like one piece of metal. Also, one of the things that the Nokias are known for is kind of how there's this curvature to the glass right here, and how it just rides so nicely on the actual phone itself. Outside of that, I don't have any initial observations. We'll compare this phone as it compares to the iPhone, as well as the Samsung Galaxy S2, which was named Phone of the Year, and we'll also go through the startup in a couple minutes.